Hello again, amigos, and I gotta say, Season 6 is pretty sweet so far. I was talking to a friend of mine who wanted my thoughts on the latest episode, and that got me thinking. I didn't want to just do a video on this episode and ignore the other ones, nor did I want to spend time to do a separate video for each episode, so I decided to do this instead. That for every 5 episodes, I'll give a quick video giving my thoughts and opinion on them, and I'll call this new segment, Valis' Episode Roundup. Alright then, let's start with the opener, The Crystalline, Part 1 and 2, and let's go ahead and talk about the alicorn in the room, Princess Flurryheart. As I stated in my reaction to her, I'm okay with her being an alicorn. However, I also said that I want an explanation as to why this is. And what do we get? This never happened before, and we don't know. Gee, thanks guys for really expanding the lore there. We have learned so much from this. Thank you. You know, writers, it makes it really hard to defend this when I have nothing to use to defend with. And don't tell me it's to protect the fan headcanons. That's a weak excuse, and you know it. Besides that hiccup though, when it comes to Flurryheart's role and involvement in the story, well, she was basically what I thought she would be. A small cute foal with uncontrollable powers, and it's up to the adults to reel her in. And when it comes to the 2 times that she did make things worse, well, I never blamed her. I mean, how could you? She's a baby. I mean, all she wants to do is eat, play, sleep, and poo. And thank you for not showing that last one. This is basically Baby Cakes the Alicorn edition, and I love Baby Cakes. And to those of you who keep calling her that word, you know what word? I have an axe, claws, teeth, and fire, and I will use them in that order. Now to the second part of 2-parter, Starlight Glimmer, and I'll admit, back when I saw her in Season 5, my reaction to her was basically the same as Pinky's. And when we learned the reason why she was evil during the finale, it didn't exactly make me like her even more, and like everyone else, I wasn't exactly so thrilled with her being reformed immediately and everyone forgiving her so easily. But hey, they did the same thing with Sunset, and look how well she's turned out, so I had faith that at the very least they would make Starlight more likable in this, and thankfully, I was right. I do think it's awesome that now she's leaving with Twilight and Spike and become her student, and I especially loved seeing her interaction with Spike. Although what really made me like her was her struggle not wanting to rekindle her friendship with Sunburst because of her shame of what she did in the past. Although when you're about to be frozen to death, it makes everything else seem trivial. And who I really found interesting was Sunburst himself, although I did wish that we would have gotten a flashback to show his time at Celestia School. I'm glad with what we got, and for that, I'm going to give the Crystalline a B. Next up is Gift of the Magpie. And by now you probably already know that this is using the source material from the old book, Gift of the Magi. So depending on who you are, this story may get boring pretty fast for you. For me though, it wasn't a problem, and I did enjoy a small twist that it was only Pinky who gave up something for Maud. Though you could make the argument that Maud does the same thing when she gave up her present to get Pinky's cannon back. I also love that Rarity was with him and was acting as a straight man for everything, and I am excited to see her new store open soon. For this, I'm going to give the Gift of the Magpie a B+. Next up is On Your Marks, and let me just start by saying that I do love the CMC, and despite how they got their marks, I am glad that they finally have them. For the episode itself, there were some awkward moments here and there which I'm not that big of a fan of, but none of them were a deal breaker for me. And I am really glad to see they're each trying to expand their horizon, each want to do their own thing, and I can't wait to see what's in store for them in the future. And for that, I'll give On Your Marks a B-. Finally, is the one you all been waiting for, the Gauntlet of Fire, and let me just take a moment to say, yes! Thank you! Wow, just wow. We finally get to learn more about the dragons of Equestria, and Spike has another standout episode, so of course I'm gonna love this. What I especially loved is designs for all the background dragons, Lord Torch, and Dragon Lord Ember, and she's definitely become my favorite secondary character. I loved her interaction with Spike and him helping her to soften up and to learn why it's great to have friends you can rely on. Though what really struck me was the way that Spike acted in this episode reminded me a lot of Steven Universe. From his willingness to help those in trouble, to his desire to make friends with those who most would see as an enemy, to his willingness to put his friends above all else. I especially love the humor here between Twilight and Rarity, from them always changing their costumes to them being ahead of everyone else every single time. The only real criticism I could give is that this is a story that we've seen countless times, so depending on who you are, that may be okay or not. For me though, I love this episode, and I can't wait to see Ember again one day. And for that, I'll give the Gauntlet of Fire a nice solid A. Well, that's all the episodes so far, but before I go, let me leave you with this one little idea. How's this for a Friends Forever combo? Princess Celestia and Ember, eh?